Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. Today we are in Empire Sin and doing another boss spotlight episode. This episode is all about Angelo. So yeah, if you're interested in Empire Sin content, then this is definitely the channel for you. And if you're not subscribed, you're making a mistake, because if you've got a question about Empire Sin, I'll be extremely surprised if you can't find the answer on this channel. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, and of course like the video if this is something that you enjoy. And of course, if I haven't yet covered your boss, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my very best to make sure that I will cover them next time. And again, for anyone picking up Empire Sin for the first time, you may have a few questions and problems that you can't seem to figure out what you're doing wrong. We do have an active and growing Discord with plenty of people in there to help. The link for that will be down in the description. But anyway, let's talk about Empire bonuses. Now, Angelo here actually has a pretty handy first Empire bonus. This is an exclusive improvement slot, meaning that once you upgrade your precinct, you're able to put this on as like a building upgrade, and that's industrial alcohol license. All breweries contribute 50% less police activity within this precinct, meaning that your breweries are less likely to get shut down and raided. This is incredibly useful. I absolutely love this. It's very overpowered and definitely one that I want. I think I would put that in every single precinct. Of course, I plan to have breweries in. Normally, I dedicate precincts for breweries, especially large breweries, or a precinct where I can find a large brewery and maybe even a couple of mediums. Just dedicate that to breweries. Add this on and you're absolutely laughing. After that, we have Safeguard. Again, this is another one for breweries, meaning they have one extra guard. So if it's likely to get raided, you have a little bit more of a chance to actually fight them off. Quite like that. After that, we have Homebrewed. Absolutely brilliant. Again, we've got Speakeasies upgrade cost minus 10%. Speakeasies are extremely important within the game currently, again with the breweries, so upgrading those speakeasies is something you're going to be doing quite regularly. So all of that goes hand in hand. I absolutely love these Empire bonuses so far. Next up, we have At Your Service faction ratings. When honoring packs is a plus 100. Honor gain when honoring packs is plus 50%. So all in all, we're going to be able to get better relations with other AI dotted around the map. I quite like this. In fact, these Empire bonuses are some of the strongest Empire bonuses I think I've seen on any character in the game. Next up, we have the stats. First stat to talk about is going to be marksmanship. At 65, it's kind of mediocre. It's not absolutely great, but it's not terrible either. Then we have the defense bonus of 5, kind of standard. Initiative of 69. Again, that's actually pretty good. I do like it to be as close to 70 as possible. For anyone that doesn't know, initiative basically relates to the order in battle. So when you start a battle, the better your initiative, the higher up that order you will be. We got a movement of 7, which again is pretty good. It means we can move 14 steps within the battle. And the next 3 stats are all about your dialogue options, your in-game events, and just kind of things of chance. So we've got leadership, persuasion, and intimidation at 50, 44, and 55. All of them are kind of trash, unfortunately. Bad stats, you may win some, but I think you're going to lose more things that you actually gain when it comes to those in-game events, especially if the AI go to buy one of your gangsters. You have that chance of persuading them to pay out 150 grand. With Angelo, that's just not going to happen. It's not going to be something that's going to be working for you, unfortunately. Next up, we have the traits, and Angelo is actually a bit lucky. He has a trait called Shoot First, which is a very rare trait given out. A couple of gangsters have it. I believe he may be the only boss that actually has it though. I could be wrong, let me know down in the comments, but basically your character goes into Overwatch, and at the start of battle they will fire a shot, depending on what they actually have equipped. It'd be their main weapon at someone within their circle, and Angelo actually has a pretty decent sized circle as well. He also has Naive. Racket upgrade cost is plus 10%, meaning you're paying a little bit more for some of those upgrades, which is unfortunate. There, it's kind of a negative trait, but it is what it is. They're trying to balance the character somehow, right? But honestly, shoot first is a great trait to see on a boss. Next up, we have the tree and the perks that I would pick up as I generally play the game. First up, we have Shatter Impact, so your melee attacks now deal 100% chance to destroy a piece of the target's armor. Personally, I quite like this because your main ability is a melee attack. Therefore, you've got a good chance of destroying a decent amount of armor, especially in those later stages of the game. In tier 3, we have we have Break Shot. We also have Heal, and we have Bullet Shield. 3 very good perks. It really is up to you. I like Bullet Shield because it offers that protection. You're getting in that reduced damage for 3 turns, basically making you a walking tank. Quite like that. And of course it, goes to your allies as well. So pick what you want. When it comes to tier 4, again, we actually have some decent options. But I would pick poison tipped blades because you're going to be throwing knives left, right, and center, meaning you're not only going to be able to bleed people, but you can poison them as well. And in tier 5, I think the option has to be gun them down. It's a good option. It is a long time to get it, unfortunately, but you fire a single shot at every enemy target within range until you run out of ammo. So having a gun with a lot of ammo is going to work really well. It means you're going to be firing multiple shots out, and it's just a good perk to kind of try and get your hands on. When it comes to weapons and what I would highly recommend you using, it's a difficult one. I think melee is definitely something you should go down. I think if you've got the time and the patience, maxing out the melee tree with Angelo is going to have benefits to it, later down the line. It's going to take a little while, but there's some really good perks that you can pick up here. Because you have the trait shoot first, because you potentially have that max perk that you pick up as well in tier 5, gun them down, I think having something like a machine gun as your main weapon, whether you use it or not, is something that's going to earn you a lot of kills and work in your favor. And I know what you're thinking. Submachine guns and melee don't exactly go hand in hand. You can't use them in the same turn. But the beautiful thing about Angelo is that he's got these free attacks. That shoot first is a free attack. He will always attack with his main weapon, meaning that at the beginning of the game, when you're running around the street, ambushing people, ambushing the thugs, or, starting wars, whatever it is, taking out those first initial guards, in a racket, you're going to be racking up those kills with your main weapon. So if that is a submachine gun, you're going to be getting those perks on that weapon. And then you can finish everyone off with your ability and then your melee hits. It works really well with Angelo. He's an interesting one. And again, like I said, late game, once you get that tier 5 perk, absolutely amazing. By then, your submachine guns are already going to have all those extra perks and treats on them anyway, so you're going to be able to do some serious damage. And although I've mentioned it, I haven't really said much about Angelo's ability. Which fan of knives? It takes 3 kills to obviously charge it. When you do charge it, you throw 6 knives at targets, depending on who you pick. It's up to you. You can stack those 6 knives as well, or you can spread them out against 6 targets. Each knife applies deep wounds, which is a bleed effect over time, which is absolutely brilliant. Again, once you get into your late game, you're going to be putting poison and bleed on. If you choose poison tip blades, I do highly recommend it. And you're going to be able to do an awful lot of damage. Honestly, Angelo has one of the best abilities in the game. Not the best, but one of the best. And to sum Angelo up, I think I have severely underrated him for a long time. I've never quite said he is the best boss in a game, but I definitely think he's got to be close. And those top 5 bosses, considering there's like 15 bosses in the game, those top 5 bosses are very, very tight and competitive. Angelo is definitely possibly in that top 5, maybe even a contender for Lone Wolf, because he has amazing Empire bonuses, he has a great trait, and honestly, he can deal a lot of damage very fast on his own, taking out multiple enemies, in one turn, which is what you're kind of looking for when you're going for that lone trait perk. Or achievement anyway. But guys, I've been a monk, we've been in Critically Clueless. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button, and of course subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts down below. All helps with the algorithm, helps boost these videos and the channel, so I really much appreciate it. And until next time, of course, as ever, happy gaming.